Hello, everybody. Welcome to our second demonstration of the Plant Power Show weekend. We are thrilled to have you joining us. We are super excited to be in Johannesburg for the first time. And we have the most incredible lineup of foodies and chefs over here behind the kitchen, all the way from Zambia. I'm so excited to be in the kitchen with them today. It's a real privilege to be able to see and hear and smell and learn about everything that you do. So we've got Lulu and William, who are from Wood Kitchen, and we have Clara, who is from Black Garlic, and I'm going to ask them to share a little bit more about themselves as we go throughout the demonstration. I'm going to start off by handing over to Lulu.
Thank you so much. Welcome to each and every one of you. We are so excited to be out here in South Africa. It's a dream come true for us. Now, as you heard, there's two brands that are present here. Black Garlic is an incredible food photographer, food stylist who's doing amazing things in content creation and putting out Zambian food to the world. Please, let's give her a round of applause because she's just incredible. Please do follow her on her social media platforms.
On Instagram, Black Garlic Zambia. On Facebook, Black Garlic. So black as in the color black like myself, and garlic, the one that we used to cook. Black Garlic Zambia or Black Garlic on Facebook.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
In introducing ourselves, I would also like to introduce my darling husband.
Husband of the year, husband of the year, husband of the year.
I don't know about husband of the year, but William and I started cooking together when we started dating. We had our first blind date, our second date, we started cooking together, and we haven't looked back 10 years later.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, William, when did we start the Wood Kitchen?
Wood Kitchen started 3 years ago, right smack in the middle of COVID. We were thinking, oh my God, what are we doing? Because all of us quit our formal employment. So it was nerve-wracking, but the lovely lady here has carried us through. And coming from a media background, Lulu is just fantastic with what she does on social media. I am just the hired help. Chop this, mix it, cook it. Lulu, do everything else with it.
No, thank you so much. 3 years ago, as we were starting our brand, we got chatting with Clara on social media. So we met on Instagram, and we are actually also here because we got on Instagram and told the Plant Powered Show, you can't have this show in Johannesburg without a taste of Zambia.
Yes, yay!
So today we're going to be making something really simple. Zambian food really honors the natural taste of food. We are not heavy on spices. And so we wanted to bring to you something that really is typically Zambian. We're going to have some garden eggs. I'm not sure if you've heard about garden eggs before. We call them Impwa. They're in the same family as eggplants. So this is something, Zambians are huge. We've got lots of land. Almost every household has a backyard garden. Okay, and so these are some of the staples that we grow in our backyard gardens. So William is just cutting away and showing you, you've seen what it looks like. Yeah. You don't eat the green ends, but that's how we would normally prepare. You can cut them as big or as small as you want. Just a little disclaimer. This is quite sour.
Yes.
Okay? This is quite sour. So I'm just going to turn on, William, you can turn on the stove for me. But
you
also,
see the hired help. Okay, cool. So, okay, I need these.
So I'm just going to get some oil in. Now, a basic of Zambian cooking is typically vegetable oil, onions, tomato. And you're on your way to being a great Zambian cook. That is our base, okay? You have that and you're doing quite well. So I'm going to get the oil in to get started.
Okay.
Now, Clara, as I'm getting started with the Impwa, how do you love to prepare your Impwa? Are there any other ways besides the way we're going to prepare it today that you love to prepare it?
So with Impwa, the thing with Impwa is, as she's mentioned already, it's like an eggplant. So you can go wild with it. You can do so much with it. So my favorite has to be this method that we're using today, which is frying. But you can also boil it. So boil it whole as it is. Once it softens, you remove and peel, and then you make a gravy and then you mix. You can make Impwa with rice, with the fried rice. You can make it as a lasagna, just like you would an eggplant lasagna. You would use it as stuffing in chicken, wrap it up with bacon.
It's so
You can really
versatile,
go
isn't
wild
it?
with impwa.
And I love to roast, for example, aubergines in the oven just as a side dish. Could you do the same thing?
Totally.
I think you could do the same thing. You would have to find a way to get rid of the bitterness if you're not really big on it being too bitter.
Yes. Do you
but
salt
it
it as well
complements
before?
well. Yes, you can salt it so that it can also remove some of that bitterness. But normally we love that bitterness to eat.
I also like it.
Another fun way of using the garden eggplant or the garden egg as it's called, is also taking it to Asia. So I have loved making this as with a butter chicken, that butter curry.
base, yeah.
The curry base. These are perfect. That creaminess and that bitterness, it's just perfect. So that's one way we really enjoy it in our home, adding in the creams and all those different spices. It's a bit shocking for a lot of typical Zambians because, trust me, you have to be very careful with the Zambian crowd. You don't mess for them with that natural state of, the food. So I'm just going to go in and start frying this.
Cool.
So we love to fry the impwa until it's slightly charred. For us, we love that slightly charred taste. We think it just adds to the flavor and also takes away some of that bitterness. So our kids really love this. Now, Zambia has 72 tribes. Okay, but the one thing that has happened with Zambian food is that even though there are 72 tribes and all of us had our different indigenous foods that we all ate as different tribes, we've truly become one Zambia, one nation. She's Bemba, that's a completely different tribe. I am Tonga, he's Lozi. Completely different provinces, but because we got married, before I married him, well, I dated some guys from... and they eat a lot of impwa, and so I got into cooking impwa, and I married a Lozi guy who had no clue what impwa was, and now we grow it in our garden. So you can see, because of the intermarriages also, Zambian food has really become truly wholly Zambian.
Yeah. And a quick fun fact about impwa, guys, it's like a superfood, right? It's very high, it's a high source of iron and copper as well, which helps with anemia. And then it's a high source of soluble fiber and carbohydrates that can help with type 2 diabetes. So it is just an amazing vegetable. And we're lucky it grows wild in Zambia. Hopefully we can actually start growing it here in South Africa. But yeah, as I said, there's so many nutritional values that it has, and it's just an amazing superfood.
We can see the color that's starting to get onto the different pieces now.
So
That slight
I'm
char.
loving it. Yes, that little char is just perfect. And I'm just going to fry it down. I'll add a bit of salt and pepper to this. Just keep it really, really, really simple. So something else that we are going to be adding to this, which is not typical, and the fun fact is that this is a recipe we actually learned from Clara. We initially just used to cook the garden egg impwa, as we call it, on its own, but Clara introduced us to mixing it with okra.
So, fun fact about this recipe: when I was getting married, I asked my husband. He said he was quite impressed with everything that I knew how to cook, but apparently there's one dish that his mother used to make, which is the impwa mixed with okra. And I had zero idea how to make it. So just after our wedding, I went to my mother-in-law's house and I was like, Mom, can you kindly teach me how to make the impwa and the okra mix? Because apparently your son says it's one of his favorite dishes. So my mother-in-law passed through the steps. She taught me what to do. And this is the impwa okra mix that my mother-in-law taught me how to make. So I'm not so sure if you're familiar with okra. Do you guys know what okra is?
Yes. Perfect. Yeah.
So in Zambia, typically the Zambian way of cooking okra is cooking it with soda, but you can also fry it. So for this dish, after she's done frying the impwa, the next thing will be frying the okra, and then you mix it all together. Yes.
Now there's, for the women who are looking to still have children, There's a fun fact about okra. By the way, she's a new mom. 4 weeks ago, she had a baby.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
We've taken
you.
her away from baby.
Okay,
But
so-
what's a fun fact about
Okay,
okra?
so fun fact, ladies, for the for the okra, it works as, what's the word? It kind of makes the process a lot easier. So closer to time, maybe 7 months. Just make sure you include a lot of okra in your diet, and
That's
that
the
little
folic
human.
acid, isn't it? Is it folic acid?
Also folic acid
Yeah.
as well. So the way it slimes and lubricates, it will also make that process slimy and lubricated. So less tearing and all of those complications. So yes, ladies, okra is your best friend.
So with okra, we cook it in different ways. So I guess you're also hearing slimy. It's not going to be as slimy with the way we are going to cook it now because we are frying it. So in our household, we've got 2 kids. One likes it fried, the other likes it slimy. So the slimy way of cooking it would be?
Adding soda, bicarbonate of soda. We have a special type of soda in Zambia. I'm not so sure what the English name is. We just call it soda. It's slightly different from bicarbonate of soda. So I'm sure you guys don't have that here. You can add just a little bit of bicarbonate of soda.
Okay.
So water, cut your okra, tomato, onions, and just a bit of bicarbonate of soda to give it that slimy
Oh, wow.
effect. Yeah. So for this one, don't worry, it's not going to slime because we are frying it. Yeah, it won't slime.
And I must say, I think we were talking about this earlier, but I feel like you can now find okra quite easily on our shelves, whereas a few years ago it was actually quite hard to come across. Maybe at some farmers markets you'd find it.
Yeah.
But it's quite nice for us to see like more of these ingredients coming through into our main stores.
So I think we are done with the impwa. I have to check with my co-cooks here.
Yeah, that looks good.
So I'm just going to put it aside. Just make sure I keep some of that oil in.
You can definitely see that beautiful crispening on the edges outside. It really looks beautiful.
Perfect.
And we are now going to move in with some of
The okra.
the okra. So with okra, you can cut it in different ways, but there's a reason why we've cut it this way. William, would you like to explain why we use this cut?
You know, I think with this cut itself, it's all about your presentation. So you're looking at different kind of textures in your meal itself, and as we always say, is that we always eat with our eyes.
Yes.
So if it's appealing to the eye, you're more susceptible to actually taste it. So this is all about presentation. We're big on presentation in the wood kitchen, aren't
Yes.
we? So yeah, so you can, I mean, this is just cut in half itself, but you can also cut it into the round little circles.
yes.
But we prefer this because of that presentation. It gives.
Yes. And if you don't know, they have an amazing YouTube channel. I saw it earlier and you can see them cooking with their kids. It's so cute. What is the name of the YouTube channel?
It's called The Wood Kitchen. And through the Wood Kitchen YouTube channel, that's where we finally managed to get Clara to come to Lusaka. So Clara is not from the capital city. She lives in a completely different province. And as the Wood Kitchen, we are really excited to highlight as many foodies as we can through our platform. So we're really excited to have Clara, and we did an authentic Zambian food series. So if you'd like to know more about our plant-based food, we did a whole series on our Zambian plant-based food with Clara, because for us we feel she's truly the queen of, you know, Zambian traditional cuisine.
Exactly.
In the Wood Kitchen, we like breaking the rules a lot. So she's helped keep us in line.
A lot of fusion food in the wood kitchen, huh?
Traditional with a twist.
Exactly,
Little modern
that's
update. How do you know when the okra is finished cooking?
Clara, would you like to answer
It
that?
will have a slight char on it, just like the okra. Sorry, just like the impwa. So if you can see from here, I'm not sure if you can see clearly, it's starting to brown slightly, then you know. And then it becomes more green.
Okay.
When it's raw, it's green, but once it gets ready,
You can
it's
see the
like
colours
green.
brighter.
Yeah, it
Yes.
gets greener than
Amazing.
before.
If anyone
When
wants to
it's ready.
take a closer look, you're welcome to. This is an interactive demonstration after all, so don't be shy. And
and
also,
take
if
a
you
look,
have
come take
any
a look.
questions for our incredible foodies back here, please just let me know. I'll bring over the microphone. I think, you know, we're also curious about the cuisine that they're presenting here today. And in terms of spices, I see there's some chilies behind the scenes.
Yes, some fresh chili.
Some
That's
fresh chilies.
Lulu's favorite chili. So we got the habanero chili there just to add a bit of heat there. Obviously the chili is optional, so if you don't like it, you can omit it. But yeah, we like a bit of spice in there. Or
So
some heat.
also, to avoid the sliminess, this is another reason for this cut. We went with this cut because then it will avoid some of the sliminess. Normally, we would cut them into
Circles?
into circles, smaller circles. Maybe William, you can just do a little cut to show an example of what the normal cut would be. So you can lift one up. So that's
And that's how
about
I've
the
often seen
size.
it, yeah.
But that will cause a lot of sliminess. So you avoid that this way.
Okay.
When I went to China, I was shocked to find a lot of okra also, and they eat it slightly differently. They steam it. So that was also very interesting for us. And one of our favorite stir-fry recipes is actually cooking the okra this way, then adding in all the beautiful herbs, fresh herbs from our garden. We love gardening, so we grow a lot of these vegetables in our garden. So I grew up in a church that believes in plant-based food. And fun fact is that I was vegetarian and fully plant-based until I was 18. We had not cooked really any meat at all in our home. So I'm still very passionate about that. And so we still eat a lot of vegetables in our home. So it's really exciting to be here also because of that, you know, an actual show promoting plant-based food. All right, so we've got that char there. I love it. I think we're done
Good.
now.
It's good.
I like that we have to get the approval of the stylist.
Yeah, because, hey, the stylist can be really strict on me, okay? Like you did it wrong. So the next part now is the interesting part, the part that makes you fully Zambian, officially Zambian. What did we say the main base was?
Onions and tomatoes.
Onions and
Well
tomatoes.
done.
And then we add a bit of, you know, going against the grain with some garlic and some ginger also.
Throw it in for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to lower my heat. Just a bit more oil.
Small.
And could you eat the Impwa raw? I think we were just saying that it's sometimes
Some people, like my older sister. My older sister is here. She surprised me
Welcome.
today. She lives in South Africa, so really excited to have her. But it is
wanna
also
try that
eaten
too.
raw. I do not recommend that,
Remember on the
but
espresso
try. We tried it on the espresso show and. We got Katleho almost screaming off stage.
I like it actually.
Yeah.
You like it? Okay.
It's bitter, but I actually like bitter flavors. I always like things like olives and grapefruits and bitter flavors.
So a fun way of that is William has sometimes sort of sliced it and then, what is the right
Should we
word?
cut
You know
them
the
some?
culinary words, my darling, where you add like the vinaigrette and so forth.
All right.
And then you let it sit in there.
pickling it.
Pickling,
basically, yeah.
Yes. And
But
then
the
we add it to
texture's great.
salads. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, very cool. It's so.
There's a few slices
yes.
in here for the boys if they
That's
want.
true. So
Are they good?
So now we're going to go in with our tomato. And
wanna
then
try some?
I'm going to add in some curry.
it's
This is where we are breaking the rules. So we're just going to add a bit of curry in there.
But you can imagine if this was almost sliced as we've done here and just mixed into a salad or something, actually
would,
just to
yeah.
add a bit of that texture. Really cool. But that's great. It's the first time I've tried that. It's quite a. I think it's going to be a hit. I need to smuggle them home to Cape Town.
So we are looking forward to having you at some of our master classes. Tomorrow we had our first master class earlier on in the day where we cooked some very fun vegetable, and that has to be her favorite vegetable.
Lumanda. Have you guys heard of Lumanda? Obviously not.
No.
But what's the English name?
So they are hibiscus leaves.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you would have hibiscus tea, you'd use the flowers, but in Zambia we are very big on having the hibiscus leaves. So we would pick the leaves off the stem and we just use the leaves alone. So the way we cook them earlier is again, simple base, our perfect base here, the Zambian base, but we first boiled them in some salt, drain the water, then add it to our main Zambian base. Just the leaves,
Oh, wow.
no flowers. Yes, no flowers. It's very tasty, has a sour, tangy taste to it. So it's very, very nice. But with that also, the hibiscus leaves, we like to add peanuts, ground peanuts.
Yeah.
So Zambians are big on ground peanuts. So our next class tomorrow, we are going to be cooking.
Cowpea leaves. Do you guys know cowpeas?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we also eat the leaves.
Wow.
Yes.
In Zambia, we eat all the leaves.
Exactly.
We do
Sweet
not
potato
waste.
leaves.
Yeah.
You would
cassava leaves.
enjoy a plant-based life in
Banana,
Zambia.
every leaf that you can think
could
of,
easily
as
be
long as
vegan.
it's edible, we eat in Zambia.
And I'm sure full of nutrition as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
For
So full of
nutrition,
nutrition.
and it's also very cost effective. And
Yes.
you would literally not die out of hunger in Zambia because almost every leaf is edible.
Yeah.
So you cook your sweet potatoes, you can also
Yes.
have the leaves. Yeah.
And I think even that's true to some point in South Africa. It's just around an education of what is actually edible, because here we have plants that grow on the side of the road that you don't even know
Yeah.
that can be a part of your diet and can easily grow, for example, in your garden. And I think that's why these discussions are so important, because we get to share that information with each other and learn that we actually have such a great source of these greens readily available.
Exactly.
And then fun fact as well, like the vegetable that we're talking about, the hibiscus leaves,
Yes.
they grow wild
Oh,
as
wow.
well. So you can literally go by the side of the road, pluck some and not die of hunger once again. Yeah, so
And do you drink hibiscus tea as well? So making the actual tea
So
with the flowers?
hibiscus tea is not really a big
thing in Zambia,
in
no.
Zambia. It is though from his
Yeah.
province, the province he comes from. And so when I got married, that's also something I learned from his mom.
Mix
They
it
do
with,
use some of the flowers
Yeah.
and the leaves in cooking their fish. So
Especially the dried
their
fish.
province, they do a lot of dried fish. So they sun dry the fish and then you cook it in that way. So that's what they do on their end. So their tribe does use the flowers too, but we don't really use it as a drink.
Okay.
Okay.
in Western Province, yeah, the Lozi tribe.
So again, like I said, with intermarriage, it creates this whole community of different foods that become national dishes. So I've added in some of the impwa, and the last thing I'm going to add is our fried okra.
It's smelling really good. You can, all those
Thank you.
beautiful fragrances
Thank
are coming out.
So please, we just went very, very natural with this and honoring the natural way that we cook it. But you could add any other fresh herbs to this. It's really, really tasty.
Does anyone have any questions? Yeah. Let me just bring the microphone over. 1 second.
I might have missed it because I just got in, but what is the base, the Zambian base that she was talking about?
Okay, so our natural Zambian base is tomato, onion, and cooking oil and salt. You are on your way to being a great wife by having those four.
It is. It's, well, I have to answer correctly because my sister-in-law is here, isn't it?
Yeah. So this looks good. I'm not going to go too long with this, but this is exactly how we would enjoy it. We are supposed to have some pap coming in.
We've got some samples coming out soon, so everyone can try a little bit of these beautiful
Samples in the
flavors. And I really can see how pretty the dish looks with the texture, but also the colors that are popping there with the green,
Exactly.
the char. It's looking really beautiful.
So I need to taste for salt.
And would you typically serve this as a main dish with a side, or how would you serve it?
Yes, if you're purely vegetarian, obviously you'd serve it with your pap, rice, pasta. It would work as a main dish. But in Zambia, it works as a vegetable.
Okay.
So you would have some protein on the side
Yes.
and then.
Yeah.
But for those that are vegetarian, as is with some pap.
It really looks great. I'm so excited to try it.
So a normal Zambian meal at lunchtime or even supper time would have with pap. You normally have minimum of 2 vegetables when you cook. So with William, who is tends to feel more Western for me, he says this is too much food, but that's what you're normally supposed to serve it.
Okay, so from now onwards, I expect 3 different vegetables.
Oh, wow. Look at him saying he expects 3 different vegetables. So now we're just going to serve it. We know that the chefs in the kitchen prepped some tasters, but you could also come and have a taste of this one.
Amazing. I definitely want to get a fork because I'm so excited to try that. It looks really, really beautiful. I know we've got some extra ones down here.
The microgreens? William, the microgreens are there?
Sure.
Wait.
It's the direction from the food styling coming out there with the micro herbs.
You can see who the rule breaker is.
So just a sprinkle on top. As you said, we always eat with our eyes.
Some
And
black
as I
pepper.
do all the time, I like to clean up my plate.
That's great. Can we have some extra forks up front here too, please? Thank you. It's really beautiful. Wow, that's been so informative. I want to make this for my in-laws too and show them that I brought Zambia home to Cape Town.
Of course.
Thank you.
Good.
So we hope you were able to learn about our different tastes that we have. This is just one of our very popular dishes. Of course, we've made it our own.
Yeah.
Normally, you would have these 2 separate. The okra would be cooked exactly this way, but separate, and the impwa also separate. But like we said, as you intermarry, she married into a mother-in-law who came from a completely different, 2 different cultures, and you marry that, and it creates the dishes like this. So as the new age kids, we are cooking and learning and infusing our own. But we really hope that this inspires you to find some of these amazing vegetables. I think the class before, we had the lady who actually gardened these. These were gardened in South Africa.
Simpiwe,
So please do find out about her farm. She has them locally.
She has a stand just around the corner with marmalade. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
and
for
I'm
having
so
us.
glad that you're here again tomorrow because I can't wait to get more of this Taste of Zambia. So a big thank you to our amazing Lulu, William, and Clara. Yay.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Show Pop-Up Podcast is here. Pull up a seat at the kitchen table and join me, Sean Lewitz, as I chat to local and international chefs, as well as health and wellness experts about this fascinating journey of food, health, and conscious living. Go ahead and follow the Plant Powered Show Pop-Up Podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts right now and take us home with you as we delve deeper into the world of plant-based living. The Plant Powered Show Pop-Up Podcast.